to call ourselves, and we need to present this to the government, more so to the presidency, so that the presidency can now come out and tell us that, okay, we are the one that says we should not prosecute Fulanis in the southwest or in the east. But meanwhile, there is what we call self-defense. You see, if anybody is trying to attack you and you attack him, you have even the right, if you can overpower him and kill him. Because what you are doing in law is what they call self-defense. Now, let every Southerners, every Yoruba origin, maybe they must go out and find a way of defending themselves with any instrument they can lay hand on, because this is recognized in law. Self-defense is recognized in law. You cannot defend yourself with your bare arms alone. And this is what really happened in the Second World War, when Russia attacked Czechoslovakia. The peasant farmers, they attack with their instruments, hoes, cutlass, anything, they attack. And who were able to kill, killed. Who are able to be wounded are wounded. Now, it is now for we Yorubas now to find a way or the other to tell the government that, look, we are no more comfortable in our zone. We are under a danger, and we face this danger daily. And what we want, let everybody keep whatever instrument he can use to defend himself, either in his car, in his pocket, in his bag, or in his anything, as the Northerners are doing. That is when we talk of a unitary system. But as things are going on now, we talk of the Northern oligarchy and superiority to the Southern and to the Eastern. As Barrister Charles said, it is good that a forum like this, we find a way of writing to the Inspector General of Police, which I know a lot of people has written to that office without any, without any tangible result at all. If we can do this, if we can make the whole country, the whole Southerners, the peasant farmer, laborers, workers, know that, look, you can defend yourself. It is then that time that whoever is coming to attack you will realize that, look, this guy I'm going to attack is in a very good form to re-attack you too. You see, one thing again, which I want the whole Nigeria to understand, sorry if I'm taking much time, is this. You know, in 1974 or 1973, I think, when they introduced Nigeria Youth Service Commission, it was badly, they have good intention, but it was badly executed. As at that time in Europe, what they do is that whenever you, as a citizen of a European country, when you get to 19 years of age, a letter comes to you that you report at the army barrack. And that is where you will be militarily trained for a year, so that if there is war, it is you people under the training that will go. Then the second batch, the third batch, I did my own in Italy. I did my 1 year full military service in Italy. That time, they teach you the rudiment of arms, how to assemble a gun, how to bring out so that when you are on the road, a policeman will have no time to mess with you. If he sees you that you are 20 years or so, he would have known that, look, this guy has gone through the training that I had myself. That was what Nigeria supposed to do for the NYC program there, to put everybody into the military, to train everybody militarily, so that one set will not come and dominate the other set. Okay, now we are hearing stories that these people fomenting problems in Nigeria, most of them are not from Nigeria. They are Fulanis from the outside world. So please, let us get our people. You say what? Yes, I'm done. Thank you very much. I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much. And I thank you very much, the two elders who have contributed, because this is a very, very important problem. I think the problem was described by the barrister earlier, that the police are not going to do anything. So we need to remove them from the equation. We need to accept, all of us, that the police are not going to defend us. The police are not going to do anything. We have to do it ourselves. So I think that's just the way it is. The question of a unitary system is that right from the creation of Nigeria in 1914, the Fulani have been made to believe that they're above the law. Since 1914. In fact, Nigeria was set up so that the deficits in the north could be paid for by the southerners. And they have done the same ever since. When oil was discovered, the Fulani, the northerners threatened to leave Nigeria unless they were given 50% of the oil money. And the British agreed. When the election was taking place in 1959, in the East, in the West, people, men and women voted. In the North, they used an electoral college to determine who was going to the House of Representatives. So the Fulani have been getting away with all these things since 1914. And the question is this. Even before I say that, After the 1999 Constitution, the Fulani wrote the 1999 Constitution. This was Fulani Constitution. What did the Arawa people do in 2000? They then passed their own law, the Sharia customary law, because they were not satisfied with Nigeria's constitution. They said that Nigerian constitution was inferior to their Islamic constitution. And the buffoon that we had as president at that time, what did Obasanjo do? Nothing. So we have a Nigerian constitution. These people decide to change the constitution to suit themselves against the constitution that they themselves wrote. And the Yoruba leaders did nothing. Just before I joined you on air, I read something that Afenifere wrote. Somebody in Afenifere wrote, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, where he was still talking about restructuring and fiscal federalism. Our problem in Yoruba land is that we like the sound of our voice. We just talk and talk and talk and talk, and we never do anything. Nigeria, if anybody had attended a previous talk that I gave, Nigeria came into existence on the 1st of October 1960. Before then, there was no Nigeria because it was a colony. Nigeria came into existence on the 1st of October 1960. It came into existence because three sovereignties agreed for Nigeria to come into existence: Western region, Eastern region, Northern region. That's why Nigeria came into existence. In 1963, when it was decided that we are going to have a republic, again, 3 sovereignties, West, East, and North, decided that we are going to be a republic. And then, in 1966, everything was taken away. And we have done nothing. We had Obasanjo as president, as military president of Nigeria for 3 years. It never occurred to him that the way that Nigeria was being constructed was of no value to any Nigerian. And the sad aspect of it is this. I remember sitting with, I think it's Shetima Alimungu. I can't remember. It was a either Minister of Education or something in the old republic. And he was saying to me, we sat at the same table at a reception, and we were the 2 Nigerians, and we were talking. And he said to me that this disaster for the North has always been the fact that the North has been in power in Nigeria. He said if the North was not in power, Northern region would be a different place today. So when you talk about what these people have done to Nigeria, it affects them even worse than it affects the rest of Nigeria. In my view, and I will finish by telling you what my view is. The only solution to Nigeria's problem is dissolution. Nigeria has to be broken up. Until that is done, Nigeria will never prosper. Nigeria will always fail. Because there are no elements to make Nigeria succeed. That's why we call ourselves Nigerians. We are all speaking English. What kind of country is that? Until Nigeria is broken up, we will still be here. Next year, year after, we'll be here till all of us die. Nigeria is a failed state. Nigeria does not deserve to exist. Nigeria is a dead horse. You cannot flog it into life. And the time has come for all of us to accept that Nigeria is useless and that we should get rid of it. Now, when we do think about all these things, we always have to accept that those people who are in power will never, ever see the light. All they can see is, I can get an SUV. I can get a flat in Dubai. I can build a mansion in my village. I can bury my mother in a Land Rover. That's all they see. They can't, because that's all they know. They have power. They can do whatever it is they like. And as far as they're concerned, that's fine. I mean, there was one parliamentarian who said he could not take the new SUV that the government bought for him to his village because the road was bad. They have no shame whatsoever. These people are totally shameless. You are a Nigerian parliamentarian. You are the Nigerian president. You go to London to go and seek medical treatment where you meet people like me. People like me are practicing in Harley Street. I have a Harley Street practice. You leave Nigeria to come here, to come and see people like me. And you have no shame whatsoever to say, if I improve the hospitals in Nigeria, I wouldn't have to go anywhere. I would be treated in Nigeria. Completely shameless. You come to the streets of London, you'll be boasting, oh, their bus service works, this works, that works. You go back home and you are so shameless, you don't think that you should bring what you have seen to improve your own. I mean, I'm not talking about just anything. I'm talking generally now. That these are people who leave Nigeria, who are ruling Nigeria. They come outside Nigeria. They go to Paris. They go to London. The first time I went to Dubai, what was Dubai? Look at Dubai today. I first went to Singapore in 1970. It was a fishing village. Go and see what Singapore is today. These people are shameless. So the idea that there's going to be a change on the road to Damascus for these people, we're wasting our time. We have to decide how we're going to fight this war. These buffoons are not going to do anything. I was just reading today that the Osun State has put your birth certificate and things on electronic. So they have wasted money. I mean, this is just the way it is. Everything is for show. There's nothing. Before the Europeans came, we had an industry in Yoruba land. It is called farming. From farming, we developed cities, towns and cities, which were equivalent to towns and cities in Europe that were based on industrial revolution. In Yoruba land, we have been having cities before they had cities. All based on farming. Because farming was our industry. Everybody took part in it. So you know, and even when I was growing up with my grandmother in the village, the women were the food processors. The men came home with the yam. The women converted it to elubo. If you bring cassava, they converted it to gari. So everything was done to make sure that we were fed. And, you know, when I was at medical school, I used to say that I never saw any child that had kwashiorkor in the village, even though the village people were poor. You know, in those days, if you had a pound note, they'd be dancing in the street to say, I've got a pound note. Yet, no child, not one child had malnutrition. Between the school and home, you had mango trees, orombo trees, agbaluma. You know, you had all these things that you could eat before you got home, so that even when you got home, you know, you didn't want food anymore because you'd be eating all these fruits all along. Everything is destroyed. We have to go back to where we came from. And that means we have to leave Nigeria. People will notice that I wear this all the time. This is Yoruba Nation. This is for Yoruba Nation. When I was the coordinator for Ilana UK, we commissioned this address to wear it when we went on rallies. That's why I wear it every time I come on this program. I wear the same thing. This is for Yoruba Nation.
Those are part of the industry Yorubas were having then.
Exactly.
Industries.
Exactly.
Because I remember in those days, my grandmother, they made one type of cloth at home, which they call
it's kijipa.
Kijipa.
Yeah.
Good one.
Look, in my hometown, they used to teach in the school. In those days, they had like a pit and the same for weaving cotton. That is how we are going to develop. That's in my view, that's how we are going to develop. Before the Europeans came, we had our own monarchy system, which is exactly the same as they have in England. We had the Oba, and then we had the council. So
But not only the Kijipa we talk about, there was Adire. I remember my granddad, they have one type of shoe which they call Takalumi, and they sell in the market. All these, we had industries. We had industries in Nigeria, in Yoruba land. You see all these kulikuli, kongu, epa, all those are industries. They produce them in a large quantity. These are food, these are beverages industries. You have the, you have the wara. You see, we had everything until the system came and destroyed them. To get kuli now, I remember in those days, while we live in Methodist primary school, immediately we come out of school, in front of the school, you have people selling
Boli Anepa.
Boli Anepa. All these are industries, things that were made inside the industries. But what do we see today? Nothing. I think, Prof, the best bet which we have to do is for us to start dealing with UNO, because these are people that that if we deal with them, we'll be able to invoke that, I think, Article 36 or so. We'll be able to trigger it.
Okay. Let me tell you what I think about the UN. I'm sorry, I don't want to take all the discussion. I am actually in the process of writing an application to the UN. So far, I've got to about 100 pages, but I'm having to revise it because my situation has changed. And I will explain my change of situation in the next 2 weeks. I won't deal with it today. In that application, I am telling the UN who the Yoruba are, where we are coming from, where we want to go to, and who are those people that are hampering us from going to where we're going. I'm telling the UN that between 1954 and 1959, when we had self-government, we were ahead of Singapore. we were ahead of South Korea. We had television before France and Italy. We had Olympic-sized stadium in Liberty Stadium. And I still remember watching Holiday on Ice at that Liberty Stadium. I remember watching Dick Tiger fight Jim Fullman at that stadium.
1963, you are right.
I remember seeing Sheffield Wednesday play Western Academicals at that same stadium. We had everything in Yoruba land, and they destroyed everything before our very eyes. But we keep on talking about somehow as if we have some higher calling, that if we did something superior, these people are going to change. They will never change. The Fulani will never. The only problem that Nigeria has, I say this over and over again, the only problem of Nigeria is the Fulani. There's no people who have skills like they do. That you don't know somebody, you've never met somebody before, you go and kill him, for what? And then you video it. The Fulani are our only problem. We need to get rid of them. And the way to get rid of them is to have our own country. So that when they want to come to Yoruba land, they need a visa. They'll have to have a visa to come here. We have given them enough latitude since 1914. We have allowed the Northerners to mix with civilized people like us for over 100 years. It hasn't changed them. They will never change. Anybody who thinks that these people will change, they will never change. Even those of them that are educated like Buhari, they're the same. They're the same. People, herders are killing people, and then you come to Igangan, Mietiala comes to Igangan to be telling Igangan people is their fault for not allowing the Fulani to graze their cattle. The tail is now wagging the head. The time has come for us as Yoruba people to in my view, what we should notify the government, I mean, if we have leaders who can do it, is to say that we Yoruba want to leave Nigeria and we want a timetable. I don't see why it should cause any fight. The Igbos want to leave, the Yorubas want to leave. Anybody else who wants to be Nigerians, let them stay to be Nigerians. We want to go, the Easterners want to go, that's it. Nothing binds us, there's no agreement that binds us together anymore. Since 1966, the agreement is gone. And the idea that, if we all go, the North will then start a civil war. And fight with who? And for the first time, wake up the Fulani, the Hausa will suddenly realize that they too can fight their way. The reason why they get away with it is because of the structure of Nigeria. The people who are eating from the table will never allow anything good to happen in Nigeria until we break the country down. They will never allow anything good to happen to that country. I was just reading earlier today that the money that Buhari and co recovered, or whatever it is, from stolen money, nobody could find where they are. It just disappeared into the central bank. The state, I mean, they treat Nigeria's money as if there is their own money. Complete lack of respect for us as people. Complete and they disgrace us everywhere. Everywhere these people go, they disgrace us, and the whole world laughs at us. They disgrace us everywhere. And yet, there are people who are still talking about one Nigeria, fiscal federalism, this kind of nonsense. The time has come for us to say enough is enough. We've had over 100 years. It hasn't worked. Everybody go their separate way. I'll stop there for the minute. Please come in.
Let's hear Barrister Fiari if he has something to say.
Barrister Charles, please come in.
Thank you very much. I have some things to say. We still need anyone who can get in touch with the police. Like I said before, the Nigerian Bar Association, or youth communities, anyone who can, journalists especially, who can get an answer and make it public. Why are the Fulanis not being prosecuted? It's a question the other Nigerians want to know, other than the Fulanis. Every other tribe wants to know the answer to that question. So it's very important. In fact, all the governors, we should ask them, the governors and the security forces, why are they not prosecuting them? Nigerians need to know, and anybody, use this forum to challenge anybody who has the opportunity. Please ask them and make their answers public. We need to know why they are not being prosecuted for the horrors they are inflicting on Nigerians. And also, I would like to make it known to the Fulanis that we are not inferior in any way. Every other Nigerian is equal to the Fulanis. The Fulanis are not superior in any way, mentally, physically, in any way a human being can be defined. They are not superior to any other Nigerian. We are all equal. And I want to point it out that the Fulani is just one tribe. There are over 300 tribes in Nigeria. So in fact, we shouldn't make too much of a big deal about them. They are just one tribe out of 300 plus. They are not more in number, they are